Good morning. It's Tuesday, March 24th, and figured I'd just do a quick video today about this little coat rack I made for my daughter. Just to give some students some updates. Stay home. It's in the news if you haven't heard. Our governor has ordered everybody to stay home that's not essential. I'm not essential. I know it sounds mean, but I know that I'm not going to provide a service that can help others other than stay home. Even though we are a farm, I guess I can, I'm not growing food right now. It's still, the ground is not ready. We have maple syrup, but I don't think that's going to be critical for, survival for people. So, good. My simple part is stay home, along with my wife and my daughter, and, we'll provide what I can online. I'll do these cheesy videos so that I can entertain, I guess, bring up morale. It was kind of nice this morning. The electives department had a department meeting. Mr. Thompson, Mr. Weaver, Mr. Hens, Mr. Andrews, Ms. Kennemer, and Mr. Bufaro. We all got on Zoom and, just talked about what we're doing for you guys. Consensus is not a lot of people are replying to these, chances to turn in late and missing assignments. Get them in, folks. There's no excuse. Get it in. We will be back to school at some point. This is your opportunity. So better that grade if you can. And if you are an all-A student, take a look at what we're providing. Watch my cheesy videos. Just don't become a vegetable. This is a chance, you can still educate yourself. There's so many opportunities out there. Like me, I'm staying busy. I'm contacting students where I can and when I can. But around the house, there's always something to do. And it's free. I can build things out of what I have, and which leads me to this coat rack. My daughter needed a coat rack. She's now 5 and she can easily hang up her own stuff when we come in the house. But the problem was our coat racks, when we walk into the back entry, were way too tall. So I said, I'll build a little coat rack that'll be shorter in height off the floor. And my wife said, well, how are you going to do that? You got to go up to the store and get, hooks and this and that. No, I don't. McMullen has this problem. And I don't see it as a problem, but others do. Like, you hoard. There's little screws and stuff. You should just recycle them or throw them out. Why are you saving it? Well, it's times like this. I obviously was never planning on a natural disaster, but my grandpa, my dad, we all had the little bin of screws and, that box of things like one day I'll sort this out kind of deal. I try to stay organized in my collections, I guess you could say, and there's things I will throw out, but I look at my own workbench here. Let's see. I've got the traditional bin of hardware. There's some stuff still in the wrapper. There's some stuff for farm pins or whatever. A BB gun. Ooh, it doesn't even work. It was from my childhood. Coffee grinder that somebody had built. That mag light. Like, we don't even use these anymore. Like, it's all LEDs, but there's nothing wrong with it. What else we got on my little workbench? Some paint. This. Most people would have thrown it out by now. I'll use it for something. Maybe I need a light somewhere. But, yeah, there's some random stuff, but it'll get used. So this, there's my little coat rack I built for Reagan. I had some scrap red oak. Not a problem there. I put a bevel on it using a router. Drilled 2 countersunk pile holes so that way, and there's space 16 inches on center. So from here to there is 16 inches. McMullen, why 16 inches? Because most houses, the studs, those members that are holding your walls together are 16 inches apart. So I can pre-space them. McMullen, you got 1 hook, 2 hook. Oh, you probably just didn't have enough. No, at some point, when things go back to somewhat normal, I want to run up to the hardware store and get some smaller ones of these. This one's way too strong. This is hard for me to open. But I figure I'd screw a couple smaller ones on. That way Reagan can hang up hat and hat and jacket. But then for gloves, you can just come up, press down, stick her gloves in it, and then they can also dry then too. So a little bit of forward thinking. And I'll put this back where it belongs. So, yeah, it's one of those things where I'd love to be able to tell, like my wife, haha, I told you, one day my junk pile will come in handy, but we save things that need to be saved, and just for things like this, we could still build a nice rack, and I was actually surprised I had these hooks. I had some other ones, too, I found that weren't as fancy, just leftover hardware from who knows, a project or something else. Yeah, I had these ones too, I found. Not as fancy, but again, keep myself busy. Made a little rack. McMullen, what'd you use for finish? Just one coat. I always have stain and polyurethane. Just one coat of golden oak, matches my house trim. And then 2 coats of polyurethane. And I did sand in between each coat. Just 2 coats. Just something, I mean, it's not going to get heavy use. So I don't have to worry about building up a heavy coat or multiple coats or anything like that. So this is ready to go in. It's as simple as making sure it's level and screwing it in the wall. But it just comes down to the fact of, I think, as my philosophy, we throw a lot of things away as a society, or hopefully recycle them. But save some things. I mean, there's things that you may think you'll never use, but like this, I have no idea where those came from. But I had them, and I finally used them. So something to think about. I've got some other projects still in mind. I've got to do some grapevine trimming. I may post a video on trimming grapevines a little bit later on. Somebody, I don't know if it's the mailman or not. Hold tight. I want to double check. Yep, okay, here's the mailman. I'm like, who the heck is slowing down outside? But yeah, I may post a video tomorrow of me trimming up grapevines for, I obviously it's not related to my core content, but maybe I'll post a video on sharpening the actual tools, because I trimmed apple trees and it's cutting, but they need to be sharpened. So maybe we'll talk about sharpening up some garden tools tomorrow. That actually would be probably a little bit more important. Right now is the time to trim your fruit trees, and actually I would have done it a little bit earlier, but I was busy. And your vines, good time to trim. So tomorrow's supposed to be beautiful too. So stay tuned. I'll get this thing installed. I'm sure, I know Reagan wants to help me. So it's little things like that too. My daughter will help me install it. She can hold the screw gun, just little things. So stay safe out there. Stay home. It is serious. Stay home. And again, if you got any questions for me or any of your other teachers, email us. We're responding to emails as quickly as we can get them. So talk to you soon.